Ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back,
OSLP family.
Welcome.
You're listening to our Sleep Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And I am back.
She's back. I got her back.
It was almost a month.
This is nuts. It's been a month since
Yeah.
me and you have recorded an episode together.
Yeah, we've done interviews, but I mean, it was like a solid 3 weeks where I didn't really see you.
Yeah.
I think I saw you once.
Yeah.
It was
one
bad.
time.
It was
One time.
bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
I don't think I've had this bad since before surgery.
Yeah, because I've never experienced this with you.
No. Like
So-
usually it's a few weeks or a couple weeks, and then I'm usually figuring it out. But it was like,
But even when you came back from Sarah's, it was like a week.
yeah. I
Like-
mean, at the most 2 weeks.
So I think you were just groggy the second week. I think you were like you are this week.
Yeah.
That last week with her. So like it was just, this has been a whole new experience.
Yeah. Well, and it was like I was having fevers. I've had 2 infections. And this is the very unglamorous side of autoimmune diseases. I don't think there is a glamorous side of
there's not.
autoimmune, but very unglamorous is you don't shower for days. I was telling Melanie yesterday, like I could barely articulate that I needed water.
Water.
Like, because I was running 102, 103 fever.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing I could do
No.
except for take ibuprofen. And then that would take, a half hour, 45 minutes to kick in. And I'm just literally laying in bed, like shivering.
I know. I was like, what the fuck is going on over
Yeah.
here? I wish I had like a little camera so I can be like, okay, someone go get her water. Someone get her protein, please.
Yeah.
I need like a staff to like go take care of you.
Yeah. If I could be famous now and just have a staff on pay, like that would be great.
Because like that was gnarly.
It was definitely the worst.
Watching you go through that and then not knowing, because I know that you probably got annoyed. I don't know. I'm assuming. I was like, I wonder if she got annoyed with me being like, do we need to take you to the ER? Do we need to take you to the doctor?
No,
I was
not
like,
at all.
I need to know when are we pulling the trigger?
Well, and that's where it was like when I woke up and it was 100 because I mean, obviously I just moved. So I
Yeah.
didn't know where any of my stuff was.
Nope.
I didn't know where my thermometer was, nothing. And so I ended up like, even in like deathly ill, I'm like opening these random boxes in my garage, trying to find all of my medication stuff. Finally found my thermometer. And that morning, I called my mom at like 4 a.m.
And
I
she's
was
in
like,
the next room.
I'm in the next room. I
Yeah.
couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So I call my mom and I'm like, hey, I've got a fever. I can feel it. Like, can you get me a thermometer? It's A, B, and C, wherever.
Yeah.
So she goes and grabs it, brings it to me, and it's 102.8. And I was like,
That's not good.
okay, well, I need to go to the ER.
Yeah, it's a little high. That's
Yeah.
a little high.
Yeah. And I knew it was higher the day before,
Probably was.
but I didn't have a thermometer. So I was like, it's fine. Because,
No.
that's how I live my life. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
fine.
Kelly says it's fine.
Until
So
it's not fine.
yeah, it was one of those times that I just couldn't catch up. And I think I need to realize that when these things crop up, I
Mhm.
need to have 24 hours of unplugging
Yeah.
and sleeping
Yes.
because it always helps.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like when I woke up from the 24 hours, I felt a little bit more clear. I felt like I could like actually get up and walk.
Yeah. Well, and sleep is super important for healing.
Which I
Like-
was sleeping.
Like we learned that
yeah.
through like just going to see Dana, like how much sleep is important.
Mm-hmm.
Because they talk about with recovery with your body, with your mind.
Mhm.
And that's what you're feeling is like less foggy because you got all that good sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it was also like I shut my phone on silent because every time there was a ding or anything, I would wake up.
You're right.
So I was taking 2 or 3 naps during the day when I was sick,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't solid sleep.
You weren't like deep sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I got for the 24 hours because I shut everything off.
Yeah.
I shut everything off and my mom was gone all day with my sister and like it was quiet and I just got to rest. And I think I slept until like 7:45 that night. And then
I think that's when I got the text.
yeah, and then I was awake for like an hour and then I went right back to sleep. And then I slept until like straight through until the next morning.
Hey, if you needed it, you needed it, man.
Yeah. And I think that's what helped. I think it was just like shutting everything off. So I
Yeah.
think next time that's what I'm going to do
Yeah.
is
Well, just when you feel it, Because, like, I think what I've learned from this experience is that you like to push your points.
I mean, that's how I live my life.
Like,
It's either fine or I like to push it.
Yeah, and I'm learning lots about you because, like, I've never been, like, this close to you and since we were, like, kids. So it's very, very different. That was way before you were even diagnosed. So, like,
oh, yeah, I didn't have any
know,
back then.
I don't know what it's like to, like, help someone during a flare.
Yeah.
No idea. I just know that you need rest. And you need to drink your water and go to sleep.
Yeah, and I was doing
all
all the things. Like, the only thing I was having a hard time with was the protein.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Because
it's hard for you to eat.
Yeah, I mean, every time I ate, it was like it didn't taste right, or I was vomiting it up, like TMI, whatever. But yeah, it was a very strange time. But long story short, I'm back.
She's back.
I'm back. So I was like, this is not the topic we're talking about today.
But it's okay.
But we're just gonna kind of give you a little insight on what's happening. So
'cause this is gonna come out before the check-in, so they got a little bit of a heads up of
exactly, and we'll go more into everything that has happened in the last month, which is like
probably
so much has happened.
Because of the flare, we couldn't do the July check-in.
True.
So
So we're going to do July and August. Yeah.
So we'll get all of the things. The
Yes.
traveling, the flares, the good, the bad, the whole nine.
Losing 240 pounds of dead weight.
Yep.
All of that good stuff. And the people that have listened to us, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Today, we're going to talk about support.
Yeah, support.
And enabling and how that can be good or bad.
Or how you can't see it at first.
And then you do later. So how would you like to begin this episode? How would you?
So I was thinking about this last night, trying to figure out, like, what do I want to say?
Okay.
Because my support's been way different than what your support was.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say, like, what I wanted to kind of come out and say is that, like, yes, I felt alone. You guys know this. But there was, like, some solid support groups that were around me.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't, like, 100% alone. But I do want to say, like, like, Eric and my son were, like, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing supporters through the whole thing.
Yes.
They didn't waver. They didn't change. What is interesting is, like, what we were talking about off air was, like, how some supporters were awesome in the beginning and now they're gone.
And I think that's hard because I know as a person, and we kind of talked about this on the episode that we did with Lisa fucking Lampanelli.
Yeah.
That things can change.
Yeah.
And people that are outside of this little weight loss surgery bubble, they don't necessarily understand that what they're saying or doing is supportive or unsupportive.
Yeah, they don't realize, like, the little taglines of "don't get too small" is actually, like, a negative thing.
Yeah, and I didn't know until I had it, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's not a nice thing to say."
Well, and it's not like it's not a nice thing. It's just realizing, like, don't tell me what to do with my body.
Yeah.
Because it's like, let me make my choice, and then my body's going to do what it wants to do, and I'm going to follow my direction of my doctor. And if that means I get small, I'm going to get small.
Yeah.
And you had to deal with that because you got small.
I got real small. And I think because Cole, the best friend, she had said that to me. She was like, when would you like me to be concerned? Like, she was kind of like, there has to be a level.
Yeah, there does. There really does have to be a level.
And I think when I hit my lowest and I was working a very physical job, I was doing yoga every day. I was very
regimented.
I didn't eat certain things. I was very, like, on point. That was, I think, kind of a kick in the pants that I needed of, like, okay, it might be time to add some things back in. It might be time to, like, realize that you're not going to be 140 for the rest of your life. Like, that's not.
Well, and I like how she put it because it wasn't like a derogatory thing. It was just like, hey, when should I be concerned?
Yeah.
Like, she was asking the question instead of it being like, when you get too small, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
It's like, let's have a conversation. Let's open up the communication. Because me and you even talked about it because, like, you're like, I want to get to this point by my 1 year, or by your birthday or 1 year or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it was my 1 year, my surge anniversary.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, like, just know you might not, and that's okay. because like the way that you lose is going to be different than me, but still like if you don't get there, that's fine. But then you were losing so rapidly. And I was like, and I mean, you talked about, I was like, hey, so when is
enough
is enough for you? Because like that's the personal thing. Like, what number are you looking for? Because like we all know everybody's looking for a number. They tell us not to look for a number, but we all
internally
are.
you all have a number, and in like most of these like apps that you use to track your weight, they have a suggested weight by your BMI and all of that.
Right.
And I think that like that was where I was at. Like my suggested number was 140.
Yeah.
141.2 or something like that. It was some random ass number. And I'm like, really? 0.2? Okay.
Yep. They want that 0.2, damn it.
0.2.
Your body needs it.
Okay. But I think not that I looked bad.
No, you didn't look bad.
But I looked very, very thin.
Yeah.
But I wasn't also enjoying life.
So you didn't seem happy at that.
Well,
level.
I was in a very toxic relationship.
Yes.
I was not happy. I was trying to that was my full focus. But yeah, I don't think I was happy at that weight.
No, you didn't seem enthused.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm here.
Because like you were, for me, what I watched, like you seemed really excited about the clothes, which why not?
Yeah, that was
you can
fun.
Fit into all these cool things now.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, you can tell that you're like, I don't know if I want to be this then.
Yeah.
I could see it on your face. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to lose another probably 10, 15 pounds that I gained. I would like to be 150, 155. I think that's a good range for me. So I would like to get back down to there.
I think that's a good range.
But I also know that if I don't, I'm still okay.
Yeah, you're not going to like beat yourself up over it.
No.
I think that's what we've learned through all of these conversations through the bariatric like therapist, Lisa Lamp fucking Bonelli, is stop beating yourself up and just be happy with your body.
Yes.
With what it is.
Yes.
Because like you are allowed to have the things that you want and don't punish yourself.
Yeah.
So like if you can't get down there, you can't get down. I've not ever been able to get back down to what I was.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I've noticed this last year. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because like going to Florida and being able to like sit in like the airplane seat just fucking fine, which I have photos of, by the way. I did take those. I was super excited. And then like wearing the swimsuits, and then now that I've worn like a bikini type swimsuit.
And not to mention she wore shorts.
And I wore shorts for the first time in public. Fucking at Universal. I've never done that before.
And you looked fantastic.
And it felt great.
Yeah.
And that was the deal. I was like, oh, I don't need to lose anymore. Like, do I seem like I see myself in videos and I'm like, I like what I look at. Like, you can tell I'm a thicker girl, but like that's just my body type.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a thicker girl, and I'm fine with it because it's my thighs, it's my hips. Like it's fine. It's like, why am I going to beat myself up over 12 pounds that I gained? Like, that's the deal. And that's what made me feel good about learning all these things through this process, because I was beating myself up till we started doing this podcast about it, like realizing, oh, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, because I stopped going to my appointments, which you guys know. And I should not have done that. Go to your appointments.
Yeah, go to your appointments.
Yes.
And I remember back when I think you were almost to your goal weight, or you were really close. It was right around that time that you were hitting that lowest point.
Yeah, because I was like 179 was my lowest. Yeah.
And I remember you saying, oh, I'm going to take these pills.
I remember, yeah.
It was like,
I know my mom gave it to me.
What was it? It was like Work It or something.
Something stupid. Mom bought it off of like a GNC, and she's like, I don't like these. Would you want them? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And then I told you, I was like, I'm kind of debating taking these.
Yeah. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't.
Yeah. She's like, no, I think I'm going to take it. And I think that's a part of support, though, is being like that person of saying, I understand you want to be in this spot.
Yeah.
I understand that it's, because I was not anywhere close to where I wanted to be at that point. But giving that support of knowing that when to be honest.
Yeah.
And that would have done more harm
than good
to your process than good.
Oh, absolutely.
And then knowing when comments or things are going to do more harm than good.
It's a big deal.
It is like having that balance of with your support of having the honesty, but not maliciousness.
Yeah, like it's interesting because the supporters that what we need when we're going through this process we need to be a little tactful.
Yeah, think about it.
Just think about what you're saying before you say it. Like, would you be okay with someone saying that to you? I think that's a big deal. Think about that. And also, like, by me saying this, what is that really going to do for you and the other person? Because I think people forget about that. Like, is it necessary?
Yeah.
Because people will just say shit and just spew off their mouth. Like the whole, like in the beginning with no support of like, do you think that you're going to be able to keep it off? Are you sure that you want to do this? Like, that's really invasive. Like, you sure you can't just do it by yourself? Like, you've never really tried, even though, like, I have tried. Cool.
So-and-so got this done and then they died.
Yeah. Like everybody dies, apparently.
Okay. What'd they die from? Yeah. Oh, they had a car accident.
Or are you sure you're not going to just regain? Because, like, I had someone say, well, we know this person that did it, but, like, their thighs are huge. I'm like, who the fuck cares?
Well, and okay.
They used to be 400 pounds. I think that they are very okay with having thicker thighs at this point.
Right.
Like, that weight is off their fucking joints and heart, my friends. Like, why? Sometimes I just don't get it. Like, I understand now, like, talking to all these professionals, like, oh, people are just projecting their own issues onto everyone else.
Definitely.
And so, like, that's where you're getting that from. They're not really, like, trying to be mean to you. They're really being mean to themselves. But it's like, can we just stop being mean to ourselves and others? Like,
okay, so I had this thought. I just had this thought when you were talking.
Good.
I feel like when you use the term weight loss surgery, weight loss, anything that has to do with weight loss, okay?
They hear the word weight.
Yeah, just like the weight loss.
Yeah.
So whether that be from weight loss surgery, whether that be from diets, exercise, whatever. People hear that and they feel like it gives them the right to comment and to judge on whatever you're doing.
It's so interesting.
Like how I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
Like if you told me that you're like, you know what, I'm going to go on Weight Watchers. I'd be like, awesome. Cool. Good for you.
Cool.
Like, but I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I did Weight Watchers twice and it didn't work for me.
Yeah, it's always into like back to them. It's like, let's just talk about the person that like is going through this. Like,
and I know that some people like, for me, when I communicate with people, how I communicate best is by relating it back to something that I've experienced.
Right.
Like that's how I have a conversation.
But not everybody does that.
Not everybody does that.
Yeah. A lot of people are actually way more malicious about their intents and need to have the focus on them. They need to have that attention. Because what I've noticed with you, because at first I thought like, I'm not going to lie, I totally thought that's what you're doing. Like always like putting it back, like focus on you. But like watching you talk to people, it is just a relatability thing. It 100% is. And you always go back to what they were saying. Because I think that's the biggest draw like from supporters is like, you can relate to us, but like put it back on the conversation that they started. And then they feel actually fully supported because they notice that one, you were listening. They related to you and now they're back to letting you talk and now they're going to listen. And that's what you do, I think, beautifully.
Oh,
by the way.
Thank you.
So high five.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I do listen, but I just like to say, like, I understand where you're coming from because I've been in this, position or I can relate it back to this time in my life or something. But I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm just trying to like correlate it with something with what I can understand.
Well, and some people do that to where like it helps them actually like retain information if they can relate it back.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly me.
Yeah, I think so too.
It helps me understand a little bit better. And if I can't relate it to myself, I have a hard time.
Well, I can see it on your face. You'll be like, you'll start thinking of other things like how do I understand this because I can't relate to it.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you just can't relate to. Like there's some things I just don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a dude. I don't know what it's like to have like weight loss as a guy. That's why we have to do the guy panels. Like I have no idea what it's like for you guys. Like I don't know what it's like to be in a different country getting surgery. Like there's just nothing I can relate to. So, but I will ask all the questions so we can like have the information as much as possible.
Yeah, because I still want to know.
Yeah.
Like our guy panel, I loved that episode because there was so much insight to what happened. And
like, there will be a number 2.
There will. There will be a second episode.
There'll be a second episode, a third episode.
Yeah.
All of the episodes.
All the guys. So if you are a guy that had weight loss surgery and you're listening to this, contact us.
Yes.
Because we'd love to get all the guys. Which can also sound really bad. So,
whatever.
We're handling this really well today. So, and it does help because I am dating somebody who had weight loss surgery. And so it's funny because I'm now like learning all these things that I didn't necessarily. The dude side.
That's cool.
And it's funny because they have the same concerns we do.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've learned over the years, that we're like raising Dylan. We're so much the same. It's not even funny. It's just bodily functions that are different.
It's just the parts. The parts are different, guys.
Yeah, we're all still insecure.
Yeah.
Like we
all still have body issues.
Yes, we're all sad. We're all upset. Like we all have the same emotions. It's just like who can express them a little bit better than each other.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Pretty much.
Because women, we're allowed to. And then dudes are shamed for it. And I get really upset about that because I'm trying to teach Dylan it's okay to cry. It's okay to show your emotions because like we need to know. Like me and Eric's had this conversation several times where like, you're not up here. You have no idea what's going on. Hold on. I thought that I played this out loud. No, I need to actually say it. Like, and that's what dudes like need to feel comfortable with because it's not fair to them to be shamed for them to share their feelings. It's so ridiculous. And I think if guys could share their feelings more and it was more accepted, then we would actually have like a better community. Because then people would understand each other better. Yeah,
and I think along with that comes communication. I feel like sharing your feelings, not necessarily being like sappy crying, like, you know, some people are just not like that. Like I'm not a huge crier. Like, you know what? You've either pissed me off or I'm really fucking sad when I cry.
Yep.
Because those are the two times. Like I don't just randomly cry.
Nope.
But I think, you know, it's just that communication.
Yes. It's key.
It's not so much like sharing your feelings, but it's communicating and saying like, hey, you pissed me off.
Just saying that goes a long way. Like as a supporter, just like listen to us and be like, oh, they're sad right now. Oh, they're upset right now. Like just because tears come out does not mean that they're sad because my tears come out
no matter what.
All the emotions.
Like, it doesn't matter. She can be happy, sad, angry.
Yeah. It's harder for the happy one. It's only happened maybe like once or two times. But it's mainly definitely like I'm sad, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, I'm upset. Like they all come together.
Yeah.
And that was really hard growing up because I didn't know what the feeling was. I just knew I was crying. I remember getting yelled at all the time for crying, and I'm like, I just don't know why. I have
You're
no
just
fucking
a very
clue.
sensitive soul.
Like people, like because our friend group was assholes about me crying.
Oh yeah.
Like Ryan, like fucking was a dickhole about it, and he's like, "Why are you fucking crying?" I'm like, "Cause you won't stop yelling."
Yep.
I remember being in a store before we went camping. We were at Food for Less.
Oh God,
Remember?
that was like the worst experience of my life.
And he was fucking yelling, and I don't know why. Don't know now why he was yelling, but I just started tearing up. And he's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "You remind me of my parents. You're just fucking yelling, and I don't know why you're yelling." And none of us did. Like, I'm always like, "Is it warranted to be yelled at?" And if it's not warranted, I'm like, "Why are we doing this right now? Lower your voice."
Well,
sir.
I think that like. Our friend group was, don't get us wrong, like we had a blast together, like, and we were very, very close as a friend group.
Yeah.
And that camping trip was freaking amazing. It ended up being amazing, but we learned a lot about each other. Like, the guys needed to set up the tents. They needed to set up the whole camping area. Yeah. We sat on the picnic table and we ate some chips with queso, and
yes, we did.
We didn't touch anything because they would just yell.
They would just yell.
And so if we stayed out of it, it was fine.
Yeah. So FYI, when you're communicating with people, don't yell at them.
Yeah.
If you need to communicate, just say what's going on.
Well, and I had a lot of that with my ex-husband. It was very much a yelling situation anytime I didn't know what to do. Like when we went on the boat last summer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never driven a boat. I've never like tried to park it on a trailer.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like.
Which he knows that because he's been married to you.
15 years we've been together.
Have you ever showed me how to do that? No.
Nope.
So why would I know?
Yeah. And so by yelling, like every second, it was like a yelling like, why aren't you doing this right? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing? And I'm like, you're not explaining it.
You're not explaining.
Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no concept of anything that's going on. Like, it all looks alien to me.
Yeah. And it should.
It should.
It should.
Yeah. And like, it's like the whole mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was doing.
No.
I had no idea how to start a lawnmower. I had no idea how to like push the lawn. Nothing. I had no concept.
I understand how like this should work.
Yeah. But I don't know how to make it work.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when Zach came over and he's like, okay, pull this. Okay, hold this in. Okay, push.
Zach is fucking perfect for that shit. He's a great teacher.
He's so patient. And it's like, even if I do something wrong, he's like, okay, redo what I just told you.
Yeah.
It's very like easy. There's communication. Like that's what I'm appreciative of.
Yeah.
And like that's a whole different amount of support.
Oh, 100%.
Coming from that, because I know that like if I don't know how to do something, I can ask. And he's very patient.
Yeah, he's not going to yell at you about it.
No.
And that's like night and day what you were experiencing.
Exactly. And going off of that, we had kind of wanted to talk about the support and how it changes.
Yeah.
Or how you think it's supportive and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning of my journey of doing the 6-month process, I thought Satan was the most supportive husband ever. Like he drove me to every appointment. He went to he asked all the questions and like every step of the way he was there. And I was like, wow, he's so supportive, right?
Yeah.
As the journey progressed and I started to discover myself.
Yes.
And I started to discover like, oh, I have a whole world out there that I haven't been able to even begin to think about being a part of for the last 5 years, right?
Yep.
And so it kind of like now looking back, I understand that it was a control.
It was a control thing. That's why he went to every appointment.
He wanted to know exactly what was happening, when it was happening, because he wanted to be able to control every step of the journey.
Every situation that you were going to be in with the journey. He wanted to know all of it so he can control it. Because he tried to make Eric feel bad because Eric didn't go to all my appointments with me. I'm like, I don't need him to go to my fucking appointments. I'm an adult, dude. Like, he went to the first one where we did all of the rooms. We did that together. And then we did the last one together. You came to one.
I came to one.
Like, I don't need my husband to be at all my appointments. I'm just like, why are you making Eric feel like shit? Like, come on, dude. And that was the deal. Like, we're realizing looking back, like, that was his MO. Like, he'd be like, well, look at all the things that I'm doing and look at what you're not doing. I'm going to make you feel like shit for it. And that's not a supporter. That's not supporting anybody.
Or make you feel bad for the things that you have no control over.
Yeah.
Like, Eric has no control over the fact that he's short.
No.
Like,
he was born that way,
change
motherfucker.
that way. Yeah.
No.
And it's like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you're fucking short.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a fun short joke. Like, get creative.
Yeah, get creative.
You've known us
please.
for like over a decade. Like,
Yeah.
you think you'd have like more fun with this.
Yeah.
Like, you are a tall man. You're 6'4". My husband's 5'4", 5'5" on a good day, he says. And
on the day that he's stretching that neck.
that's right. And so I'm like, you are a foot taller than my husband. Cool. I don't care. Why do you care? I'm the one fucking him. You're not.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yep.
When we're in bed, it doesn't matter the height anymore, guys.
Yep. It does not
It
at
does
all.
not.
Nope.
It's just so interesting because, like, looking back and listening to our spouse episode, you can really hear the difference of the real support because Cody only talked about your health.
Yeah, there was no like, I can't wait until I can do A, B, and C with Kelly.
Yep.
Like, he was a very much like in a caretaker. And now I want everybody to know, like, it wasn't all bad, right?
No.
Like, he did the 2-week liquid diet with me. And I don't know if that was a control thing or if that was just like him trying to be supportive.
Maybe he was trying to connect.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved you. You guys were together for a long time for a reason.
And I'm not saying that there wasn't love there.
Yeah.
There was. But over time, things can change with support.
Yeah.
And I think that the support went from being like supportive to toxic real quick.
Real quick.
So there's a fine line,
Yeah.
I think, between that.
I think so too, because it went from like him doing all the appointments, doing all the things, and then when surgery happened, he has no control of what that's going to be like.
Yeah, no control.
And because everybody changes. Everybody's different. And you changed. I knew you were going to change. And I was waiting for it. But, like, he had no idea. He just thought you're going to be the same Kelly, just smaller. And that's not what happens.
No, it does not. You change because you start thinking about things and you start trying to figure out, like, I hadn't lived a life in so long that I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And he was not prepared for that.
No, he couldn't keep up. And nor did he want to. I think that's what I think he realized was, oh, she wants to go. And I don't want to do those things. I think that was like because what this journey does to both, I think, sides is it makes you think. And a lot of awareness happens. You guys all know as bariatric patients, like now you are so into your food, your water, your protein, and then your fog slowly goes away and then the energy kicks in and then you're like, I want to go do stuff. And then if you and your spouse, your partner, or whoever you're with is not like communicating with you
or connecting,
then like it's going to slowly fall away. And that's why the divorce rate is so high.
Yeah. And I think you know, as you change, I call it, the fat Kelly and then the now Kelly, the real Kelly. I think that the real Kelly just would have never connected with
the dots.
With Cody.
With Cody. Yeah. This Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Kelly would have never.
And there's a reason why we're divorced. Yeah. Like and I'm good with it.
Well, it's fine. Like people are allowed to
move on. And I hope that he finds his happiness, right? And I hope that because I found my happiness for right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with where I'm at. But yeah, I think this change of support can definitely happen, and it can happen over a short amount of time, or a longer period of time.
Because it could be with friends too.
It can. It's not just your spouse or your partner. Like it can be with family members, friends, like
relationships just in general slowly morph and change. And I know what mine was. Like people didn't like the fact that I've always been outspoken, but I was more like no. Like I had boundaries.
No.
Yeah. I was like,
absolutely not.
Not doing that. Not today.
To use my sister Fiona's term. Absolutely not.
I like that.
Yeah.
With the fingers?
Yeah. She's like, absolutely not.
Ooh. Eric did say he would like it if I was more, this is funny, like talk with my hands. I'm like, I talk with my hands all the time. He's like, no, but you could be more expressive. And I'm like, okay.
I talk with my hands a lot.
Yeah. So I was like, sweet. But no, like with friends, like everything just slowly morphs and changes. And people didn't like me putting boundaries up. They did not. They were not a fan of boundaries. I put a boundary up with my ex-neighbor. And she really fucking hated that. I would just call her out, be like, nope, not okay. Not today. And she was just like, what the fuck happened to my friend? Because I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not like Megan. Yeah. Because this girlfriend would be like, she was in the room. She held a leg when I had Dylan. Like we have a weird connection and bond. She taught me how to drive like a car, a stick shift. Like I was like, I thought we were going to be like a ride or die situation. Everybody didn't like her. But I was like, you know what? She's been great to me. Not a problem. And then when I had surgery, our dynamics changed. And then it just slowly morphed into like, oh, I don't like Melanie anymore because I'm more honest. I'm more like, hey, this is not okay for me. I don't feel comfortable with this. And I used to never tell people when I didn't feel uncomfortable. I would just roll with the punches because I can roll with anything. I'm pretty good at that. But now I'm actually going to be like, I don't want to do that. Or I don't like that. And she was like, oh, shit. And then instead of like talking to me, she would just ghost me in my own backyard, people. Like legit walked past me and I'm like, hey, what's up? And she like beelined it, wouldn't even make eye contact. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Did that just happen?
Oh yeah.
And thank God.
Oh yeah.
Thank God people were around. They actually saw her do it. And I'm like, holy shit. So it's just like little situations like that. Like even with Amy, like Amy was a great support in the beginning. She was like Johnny on the spot, making sure I was okay. She checked on me. And then it just slowly changed because now she wanted the surgery. Now she's mad because her insurance won't do the surgery. And she just like,
it's a jealousy.
It was the jealousy started happening. She was getting pissed all the time, and it wasn't. And then she was never like rude to me about it. It was just she would complain and complain and complain, and then finally when I'm like, hey, like check these things out, like it was almost like don't tell me what to do, and it was like, well, this is what worked for me. I don't know what to tell you. And so like that phased away as well. Like some of the toxic ones that are just like taking all your energy do fade away. And then other ones come in. Like you were a huge supporter after the fact, like years later. Because I would, I mean, you know, like we weren't like close when I first got my surgery. So we didn't have this dynamic. But now, like, you're the biggest fucking supporter I've ever had.
No.
So it's nice to have a friend that's like went through it, knows what it feels like. And I don't have to explain much of myself to you because you know the inner workings of what's going on, which is really cool.
And I mean, not that we, you know, 24/7 understand what, you know, sometimes we have to have it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to like be like, wait, okay, we need to stop, take a breath. Okay, I'm meaning it this way. And I think differently than most people. Like we talk about this. I go to the end and then I work my way back. Mel is the opposite.
Yeah, I'm linear. We're going like A to Z. I mean, it's my accounting brain. We're going 1 to 10. Like we're not going 10 to 1. That's not how this
and
works.
I go 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So I like to see where I have to go and then work my way backwards. So like when I think like, what time do I have to be somewhere? I think, okay, I have to be there at 11:30. So I need to leave here at 11 and then I need to be like I work
you slowly
backwards.
work backwards.
Yeah. I don't think, okay, I need to be in the shower by 9 o'clock so that I can leave here by 10 so that I can, that's just how my brain works. And I very much learned that
and we learned
about
that
myself
through this process.
Yeah.
Like through like the whole podcast.
Yeah,
like,
we would have I would have never known.
Well, even guys, when she like thought that she was ready to come back and then she was like, I want to know about this and this and this. I'm like, girlfriend, that is like months away. We need to like, can we just roll you into this week right now?
Can I go to December and then work? I'm going to work my way backwards to now.
100% what she wanted to do. And I was like,
yep.
Nope.
Yep.
We need to figure out tomorrow.
Let's get tomorrow on the books and then we'll go from there.
But it's so funny because like we would have never known that about you or like about how I work if we didn't work together. And then how our support actually works, because I think that's why we work together so well, is that you are the end to the beginning and then I'm the beginning to the end, so we can always like
we meet in the middle
and we figure out what needs to be done, because like each of us are missing always something a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't 100% be perfect all the time. Like that's just not going to happen.
Well, and there's just never going to be perfect.
No. Well, and even with support, like your support is never going to be 100% on point. They're never going to say anything mean. Like everybody has to go through their own shit, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of the support that I had in the beginning obviously has changed now. Yeah. Like I have completely different support other than Mel. Yeah. Like Mel,
I've been the solid.
Yeah, she's been solid since the beginning.
Yep.
My mom kind of morphed. She wasn't real supportive in the beginning just because she didn't want me to do it. Now and then, as soon as I had surgery, she was really supportive.
Yep.
My sisters have kind of gone in and out a little bit. You know, like they're supportive, but they're not supportive. Like it's a weird kind of combination. And then as far as friends, like, I had this one friend that she seemed supportive.
Yeah, she did. I thought she was too. She fooled me.
Yeah, she fooled me too. I thought she was going to be really supportive, but it turns out like she was more of she thought she was missing something.
Yeah.
Like, and she was projecting her feelings of, because the way we used to, we would travel together. I would go and visit her. And our way of spending time together was food. And she would plan our entire trips surrounded by breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks.
Yep. And that makes sense now, like, because after we talked to Lisa Lampanelli, she said the same thing with her own husband. They realized, only thing that we had in common was food.
Yeah.
And that can really build a whole relationship and then deplete a whole relationship.
Exactly. Very much so.
And that's exactly what happened.
That is what happened. Yeah. And I mean, there was more to the end of our friendship than that.
Yeah.
But towards the end of it, like the last trip we took together, it was very.
I get my hydrate on.
Yeah. I finally have mine back after a month. Oh my God. I love it. So towards the end, it was becoming more of an enabling situation because I hadn't had ice cream.
No, that's actually what I think. It didn't like piss me off, but it frustrated me that you went so long with like nailing it. And then when you left to go visit her, it was like
all bets were off.
All bets were off. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I get it. Like when my first trip, well, it was to Mexico, but it still was like everything was on point except for the one extra a day. And it seemed like this person, because of her, like how she builds a relationship and like a trip, it's around food. And it was like, you can't do that. And I don't feel like she tried to adapt to you.
Well, and she did kind of like she would ask like, is this place okay? And I told her, like, any place you want to go is fine because I can find something there that I can eat.
Yeah.
But I think it was falling back into those old habits. And instead of, you know, when I'm saying, like, oh, I want Andy's ice cream, instead of her being like, well, no, like, let's just go home. I've got some fruit or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, because you went 4 times, you said, right? Or 3?
I think it was 3.
3 times while
I
you
went
were
a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
I went a lot. Let's be honest.
And I think that was what was annoying was I was like, okay, I get the one. You get the one. Like, of course. Like, you haven't been there. But why are we going all the time? And why is no one saying anything? That was the deal. Because I'm like, why are we allowing, not like this behavior, but she's like enabling what you've already like built. She's like, because if that was me, I'd be like, yeah, let's go have ice cream one of the nights that we're here. But not like, let's go every single night. I don't think that's fair because I feel like that's almost like sabotaging your success.
Well, and come to find out, you know, like there was more behind the scenes of her feelings of being overweight that she was projecting onto me.
Right, yeah.
And I feel like there's a certain sabotage of, oh, if they gain weight back, then I won't feel as bad about myself.
100%. Yep.
So, and I think you know, we have to be aware that that is a possibility.
Yeah, and if you're a supporter out there, like kind of just look at yourself, and you don't have to be happy with yourself. Most of us aren't, you know?
No, we all have things that we want to work on.
But deal with your own stuff and not project onto other people, because just because I'm feeling this way doesn't mean Kelly's feeling that way. Doesn't mean X, Y, and Z is feeling this way, or they have the same habits. Like just because like I eat because I'm sad does not mean that someone else does. Like everybody is fucking different, and everybody has their vices. Mine's fucking food, you know? Like some people it's alcohol, some people it's cigarettes, some people it's actual like hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
Like there's gambling, there's, you know, fucking shopping.
Yeah.
So everybody has something, but don't put your stuff on someone else is the biggest key, I would say, as a supporter, because it can actually backfire. One, you can lose a friend, or lose yourself is a deal too, because then you realize, oh, I have some fucking shit I need to deal with. And now I've lost a friend and like myself at the same time. And that's not fun. That can't be fun for anybody.
No. And I think also when you are looking, because I know those feelings. I remember those feelings when you lost a bunch of weight. Like it kind of makes you look internally at yourself.
Yeah.
And as proud of you as I was.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of like, I was like, oh, well, now she sees me as like this big fat person, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We don't see that.
We don't see that.
We don't see that. Going through all of my stuff over the last 2 years, I don't look at my friends as fat, skinny, you know, in between. Different. Like, you're my friend.
Yeah, it's so different because it's this journey is very personal. So we look a lot internal about ourselves. How do we be successful? And when we look at our friends, we're just there to hang out and be like have fun. Like it has nothing to do with anybody's weight.
We don't look at what you're eating. Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. I think that a lot of people think that we're judging them.
Right.
And it's like, no, you do you. Yeah. If you want to eat that, eat that.
Like, no, like I'm not judging at all. What I did notice was the change was just like my brain going, how did I used to fit that in my belly? That's the only difference I noticed.
That's a question for yourself. That's not a question of like, how are they fitting that in?
Exactly, because it still pointed back to me because I was like, ooh, I only have a 2-ounce tummy. Whoa, how was I able to fit? Like the hamburger with the hamburger bun and all the fries. Oh, wait. And how did I have the bloomin' onion before? And then a salad. Like, it's insane, like, how much food I was able to put in my body prior to surgery.
Oh, completely.
And then now after surgery, the only thing different I would say is just you just look at food differently and plates differently.
You do.
But it's never a judgment on the person eating it.
Yeah.
It is just literally, it's almost a judgment on the restaurant because you're like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? These are too big of portions. Because even like, I love me some Chinese food and Japanese food, but like depending on where you go, those portions are
huge.
massive.
They're huge.
Massive.
That's what she said.
And no wonder why I thought it was okay to have like 2 cups of white rice all the time. Because that's what I was getting even when I would go to get Chinese food. They're like, fried rice? Yeah, here we go. Like fucking hella scoops. Yeah.
Like, it's so much
it's
food.
Intense. It's
yeah.
intense.
I mean, it's 3 meals for me easily. If I go to Gold Dragon, especially, because they have huge portions.
Huge portion. They're delicious. And they're
it's so good.
very, very
It's
clean
so
is what we like about them.
Yes. And it's very clean tasting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
they
why.
They change their oil all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's certain places like Olive Garden. I still don't know how I fit all that in.
Yeah. How did we do that? All the breadsticks, fucking the Alfredo sauce, dipping in the breadsticks, the salad, the any appetizers you may have done. Because sometimes we would do the fried mozzarella.
Or, the fried little, what was it? The lasagna fritta or whatever.
Fritta, yeah.
And then
your
pasta
meal.
on top of it. Plus, we would go when it was never ending.
Of course.
And have 2 or 3 bowls.
Yeah, how did we? It's just confusing. And so, like, that would be the only thing is, like, it's not a judgment on anybody. It's just now we're in our heads more and we're like, how did I do all these things? Because that's what's bringing the awareness up is like, oh, yeah, I used to do X, Y, and Z. Can't do X, Y, and Z anymore. And now we just don't even go into Olive Garden.
Nope, I have not been since before surgery.
Yeah, I think mine's been almost a year now.
Yeah.
Because the boys would randomly want to go.
Yeah.
So.
I've been kind of like, I want to go to Olive Garden. But then it's like, meh. Like last night I ordered pasta for the first time ever.
That's random.
Yeah. My mom wanted Outback because
okay.
she was like, I'm just tired. I don't want to cook. And I was like, that's totally fine. Like I just want to go home and go to sleep. So I ordered this pasta thing from Outback, and it came with like steak bites and shrimp.
Okay, so
and
you
then
got
the pasta.
Your protein.
Yeah, so I got the protein. Well, I didn't realize that the Alfredo was spicy.
Well, because Alfredo's not normally spicy.
No,
so
not at all. So I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I took like a few bites. Oh my God, it was like on fire.
Oh no.
But I ate so I had like 2 bites of the pasta, maybe 3. And then I had 3 steak bites and 2 shrimp.
Yeah.
And I was done.
Done. Yeah, that's good.
Like, how?
I know you were nervous about getting pasta.
Yeah, but it was fine. Like, it wasn't like it was before.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. It wasn't like that instant like need for it.
Well, what's funny is like for me with pasta, like I've never really been a big fan of pasta, but now even when I have it, I'm like, why? Like I taste it, I'm like, that's not even as good as I remember it. Like I notice the things that I used to like aren't as good. Like I don't even like pizza anymore. I fucking hate pizza. It's stupid. No fucking point of pizza. I know, it's weird.
It's so funny because you have pizza a lot.
Like, yeah, well, they do. What I do is like, I'm like, hey, if we're going to do this shit, I just get cheese bread.
That's literally what I get.
Because I've realized I just care about the cheese and the topping. So, like, I know this is like fat kid moment, but Domino's has a cheese bread that's spinach and feta.
Ooh, yum.
So I was like, I'm going to get that. And I'd have 2 pieces and done. And I'd have my salad.
There you go.
So I'm like, I don't care for pizza anymore. Because they went to order. I'm like, I don't want pizza. I really don't.
You're like, I hate it. I don't want it.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just, I feel like it's a wasted space. Like, that's the one thing that we all learn in this process is like, you need space for nutrition.
Yeah.
And why are we filling it with shit that doesn't matter? Like, it really, really doesn't. Because you need to be able to function. I've learned like it's kind of interesting with her being like down. I've been on point, and I don't think there's a correlation there, but like it just happened to be that
a bad
way.
Influence.
Where like I'm eating better, my vitamins are on point, water, protein, the whole thing, and I can already feel the fucking difference. I wake up, I'm a little groggy, but I'm like fine for the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, go, go, go. And that's even with some on the weekends, I haven't been taking the phentermine and and I'm fine. I'm still like wide awake. Let's go. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like regularly taking my vitamins and I'm regularly getting the protein and water that my body actually needs. And I'm noticing I'm not wanting the cravings at nighttime are slowly going away. I do have my Built Bar. They finally got here a couple days ago.
Yay!
And we have that in the fridge. And even like my niece is staying with us. She tried them and she was like, these aren't that bad. And I was like, right? I was like, it's literally a glorified candy bar that you can have at night. It makes you feel better. And yeah, like we all had one last night.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, this is easy peasy. But you have to like change the way that you eat. And then I'm noticing like, oh yeah, there is a reason why I felt so good back in the day. Like it's so dumb when you go back to the basics. You're like, shit, I should have been doing this before.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, and I think that's another level of support also, is having somebody that says, like, when I was down, like you were messaging, like, are you getting your protein? Are you getting your water? Are you taking your vitamins? Which I was, except for the protein. But that's a level of support.
Yeah.
Like if you're not getting your vitamins and say your partner notices you're not taking them, like that should be a conversation. Like, hey, you know how important vitamins are. Why aren't you taking them?
Right. And I felt weird like messaging you that every couple of days, but I was like, no, like I need her to know like she needs to take these and she will feel better. Like it's just, you also need to give yourself like time for the stuff to work.
Yeah.
What we've learned is like vitamins, when you take it today, you're not going to feel the immediate.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks.
You need like at least, I think, what did the Paravita say? Like 3 to 5 days at least.
Yeah.
In your body.
That's why I say a couple weeks.
Because it's like you need to have it and then you'll feel the like repercussions later. Like that's why our nails are growing like crazy with the Avi stuff and the devotion being on point with the protein. Like now my mom loves devotion.
Yeah, my little sister loves devotion.
Yeah, and it's funny because they like the different ones. Like my mom is addicted to the angel food
which
cake,
is my favorite,
and she just puts it in water.
Oh really?
Yeah, because she can't have milk, but my mom's still weird. I'm like, you can have Fairlife, it's lactose free. That's what Dylan can have, and she's like, nope, can't have it. And I'm like, yes you can. And she's like, nope, I'm gonna use water. And I was like, okay,
oh my God, Mom.
You do that, Mom. And she put water in it, and then she mixed it up, and she's like, ooh, this is good. And then for some reason now she likes to put it in the freezer. That's fine for 30 minutes, she says. And she's like, it is so freaking good. She's like, I like the brownie batter, but I prefer the angel food cake. And then now your sister loves
the brownie batter.
The brownie batter.
Yeah, because I gave her a few samples because she was like, because she's in beauty school.
Yep.
And she's like, I need something easy that I can make in the morning because she's got a 1-year-old. And she's like, I need something in my system because I'm on my feet all day. And so I was like, well, here, try a couple of the sample packs of Devotion because that's what we use.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know. Like,
yeah, and those are like what helps you keep on point. I even messaged Kelly while she was done, was like, hey, Flex Pro. Like, you have them in your freezer. Use them while you can. Because, like, those are jam-packed with protein. Almost every one that we've seen is over 20 grams. And you need between 20 to 30 grams per meal. And, like, that's perfect. And at least you're getting, like, fresh food, too. Because we are learning we need a balance between fresh food and fresh protein versus, like, just, drinking your protein.
Yeah.
And you need a good mix. And, like, people being supportive can be like, hey, one, I love it when they want to try it with you.
Yeah.
I think that's a great move, by the way. And then checking on it. Like, how are you doing?
Yep.
Because, like, I know I need sometimes a kick in the pants, too. Like, it's not just one-sided here.
Oh, no. I mean, we all need sometimes we all need a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
And I think finding the right support of finding that balance of being supportive without being judgmental.
Yep.
And having the honesty without being malicious.
Yes.
That is the true.
It's gonna go a long way.
That's the true amount of support.
Yeah.
That's encompassed all right there. And I think also that's why we find support within our community so easily. So and so, like, you feel so connected so easily.
Yeah, because I think we've all been through, we've all been bigger people.
Yeah.
And we know what it feels like to be chastised and shamed and
judged.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel good. So why are we going to do that to each other going through this journey? Because we know this journey is.
I mean, there are some assholes out there, right? Like, it doesn't.
I mean, that's true.
That's anywhere.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
they're great. And, like, we're not going to be mean to each other, and we're just going to build each other up, because this journey has ebbs and flows of like awesome for a few months, and then it's down for a month, and it's awesome again. But really, that's life. If you think about it, that's literally what life is like.
You're not going to be perfect 24/7.
No. And I used to say all the time how like there's no way you can have like all like the trifecta where like work's good, family life, and a home life, because it's like, you know, with you have your actual family at home, and then you have your extended family, and then you have your work. Like normally not all three can be like totally fine.
Yeah.
At the same time. And so I've always been prepared for one of them not to be. And it was with this journey, what was weird is like sometimes they all would align. And I'm like, this is weird. Is this how it's supposed to be? You know?
I mean,
and sometimes like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to fall. Like I noticed the more that you put out, the better like things come towards you too. Like the whole karma thing. Like I don't know if karma is real. I kind of believe in karma because I've noticed like the more good that you put out, the more good comes back at you tenfold.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I live my life.
Yeah.
Is by karma.
Yeah.
Because I believe that if you are nice to people, people will be nice to you.
Yeah. And if they aren't, then that's on them. That's what I've learned too with this process. Like, oh, there's something wrong with you. Like, why are you being a dickhole?
Yep.
Because I noticed with both of us, we're more like reactionary people. We're not going to like just go. We don't wake up and be like, I'm going to be addicted to this person today.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like they need a little kick in the ass.
Right? I'm just like, Mah. Like, that's not what a supportive person does. Supportive person is like listening, observing, and commenting when needed. And that's where like this journey has taught me to be more reactionary and just listen and watch people, because like most people don't mean sometimes what they say when they're like upset. So it's like, don't take it personally. Just keep going. It's fine. And just do you. Like at the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself, right? Like that's what we've learned with like Maybell and Dr. Shapiro. Like you really, at the end of the day, you only have yourself. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah.
Damn it. Dr. Shapiro? Did I say that wrong? Or Maybell?
Yeah, Maribel.
Isn't it Maybell? Did I say?
Isn't it Maribel?
No, that's how I used to say it wrong. It's Mabel. Maybell.
Mabel.
Motherfucker.
God.
Why is that such a problem? I'm so sorry, girlfriend. I love you to death, too. Beyond the Sleeve Academy. She's fucking raw. Like, I can do that one. I'll just start just calling you by your Instagram tag name, because apparently I'm an a-hole and can't pronounce it. Like, and I remember Maybell. Mabel. So I just keep saying it like enunciating over. Yeah, because I was saying Maybell, but it's Mabel. Yeah, it didn't help the fact that like, because you guys know I have another job and I was processing stuff, and there was a girl actually named Maribel, and so I accidentally called Mabel Maribel on the podcast because of that, and I was like, motherfucker.
I laughed so hard.
Sucky.
I laugh every time. But I'm just like, but that's just Mel.
Yeah, it's just me. And I'm sorry. And
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I will do better. And that's the deal. Is like, I don't take that personally. Like, if some people would get really fucking pissed off of being corrected, it's like, no, I just need to say it right. Just tell me what it is.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, well, because you were never really corrected when you said it wrong.
No, and that was the thing. Like, my parents didn't know they were saying things wrong either, so they weren't correcting me until like I got into the professional world, and I'm like, oh, I fucking say a lot of shit wrong.
It's fine,
and it's totally fine.
I just be like, you mean da da da,
and I go, oh yeah, that's how you say. But that's like a good supporter. Like, I mean, there has been times where I'm like, Kelly, not this time. Because I'll be like, if I'm just not feeling good, I'm like, I don't want to be corrected when I'm feeling good. No one wants to be corrected when they're not feeling good.
Definitely not.
But like, that's a good supporter though, because she realizes that I need that and I want that and that you're giving that to me.
But it's hard to turn it off.
Yeah, she's learning.
It's hard to turn it off.
It's a process. But yeah, like that's the deal with being supporters though, is like actually listening to the person you're trying to support.
Yeah.
You know, and that giving them what they need. Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk to them. Like, it could be an awkward conversation. Guys, it's okay to feel awkward. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. Like, a lot of this journey is uncomfortable.
It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. Yeah. It is what it is.
You have to learn to love to be uncomfortable. And it's okay. Like, you actually learn a lot about yourself when you're uncomfortable. At least I have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've learned I'm stronger than I think I am.
You 100% are.
Yeah.
100% are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I had to take myself to the ER on whatever day
like
that was.
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday last week.
And I was so scared because I'd never taken myself to the ER.
It boggles me.
And so I got in the car and I went in by myself and everything was totally fine. Yep. And I drove home and I went to bed and it was totally okay.
I mean, it was a valid fear. I was confused at first. I was like, why is she so scared to go? Like, just go.
Yeah.
It's worse if you stay here.
Yeah.
And I have my phone, if for anybody's like, Melanie, why the fuck did you not take her? One thing is that my phone is always on Do Not Disturb before my alarm goes off. Mm-hmm. So I didn't see that text message until
and I'm not going to call her
3 hours later. Yeah. And so I instantly, when I saw it, I was like, where are you at?
Yeah,
was like the
first
I'm
question. Literally in the ER.
Okay, good, you made it. Like that was the deal. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing today?
No, she wasn't being a total dickhole.
No, I was not.
But I think that also goes with being your own support.
You do. You have to support yourself because like that's one thing you are learning and you are strong and you can totally do this shit. And I think it was a good thing that I didn't see that message because I would have gotten up and just taken you at 5 a.m, but it would have been also like really hard on me trying to do all these things and juggling all of these things. And instead you're like, I'm owning this. This is my health, my stuff. I'm going to go support myself and go.
Yeah, because I've always, really cool. Yeah, I've always had somebody
to do that
did these things. Yep. And now I'm trying to learn, like, I can't always rely on other people to do the things that I need to be done, like need to have done.
Yep.
And so it was really good that I was able to support myself and be fully aware of what I needed to do for myself.
Yep.
So, and I think that comes along with more than just like driving myself to the ER, like, you know, being aware of like for you, like being aware of like, this last month has been really good because you've been supporting yourself. You've been very aware of your water and your protein and your vitamins.
Yep. I've been actually like, okay, so I'm like, okay, I need to stop being an asshole to myself and just do the work, put in the work.
Yeah.
And then it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good, guys. You guys need to like, if you're having any like stalls or moments of problems, just like calibrate. What are you actually doing today? And then just see, like, you don't even have to change anything. Just, you know, write things down for the first couple of days. Do the column thing. Like, do whatever you need to do to kind of figure out what's changed.
Yeah. And I mean, we are always here to be support for you guys.
Yeah,
like, you can always message us. But I also think there is a level of being your own support.
Yeah.
That we have not, that I don't think we've discussed being your own support.
No, I don't think we actually have.
And that's another level of this whole journey is being there for yourself. And that's the whole point of it, is taking control of your life.
Yep.
So by taking control of your life, you're being your own support person.
Yeah, you got to, like, you were born here, didn't have a choice to being born, and now you have to, like, you are meant to grow up and take care of number one. Number one has to be good before anybody else can be good.
Yep.
And I know people hate that, but it's like, no, almost every, like, well, we talked to Dr. Dovak, and she said most of the people that come in wait a few years because they're always thinking like, okay, I got to take care of all these people first and then I can take care of myself. And it's like, why are we always putting ourselves last? Like, we shouldn't do that. Like,
no,
the only way for everybody else to be good is if you're good. And I notice it with my household. If I'm on point, those two motherfuckers are on point. If I'm not, they're not. And it's very interesting dynamic because I'm just like, I need you to just support yourselves. But they don't have that yet.
They follow suit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're followers. And it's like, that's okay. That's totally fine. I just realized, like, oh, I just need to be on point more. And I should, because I feel great when I do. Like, I'm not like agitated. I'm not annoyed. Because I noticed, like, if I eat shitty, I will wake up kind of like groggy. And then I start getting like super snippy with people. I'm like, oh, that's because, and I would think, oh, I'm just like, oh, I'm about to be on my period or whatever. I'll chalk it up to things that are that. But it was really because last night I had 3 fucking cookies before I went to bed, and now my sugar levels are higher, and I know I'm just being an asshole. Like, and I'm also probably like shaming myself because I had the 3 damn cookies.
Yeah, because that's the first thought that goes into your head.
Yep, and you're being a dickhole to yourself, and now like you just ruined 2 days in a row instead of just like, hey, just have your protein. Or if you did the cookies, don't be mean to yourself the next day.
You made the choice.
You made the choice.
It's done.
Live with it. Next meal.
Next meal.
Guys.
Have some protein.
Have some protein. And then you're
live
going to
your
feel
life.
good. Because that's the one thing, like, my mindset has changed and shifted. And I think I've been telling Kelly, I'm like, oh, I'm just listening to us as we're like editing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, you know, Dr. Shapiro said these things. Dr. Dovek said these things. Some of our followers have said these things. Like, okay, like these, I need to actually put these in place. And as I slowly put just a little bit.
Yeah, you don't put it all. Don't do it all because that's overwhelming.
Yeah, just find one that you kind of like enjoy. And you're like, I'm going to do that. And I
feel like that's being a support for yourself, but in a very healthy way.
Yeah. And our groups, our Benchy group, you guys should join. It's fucking amazing because we're linking up our Apple Watches together. Like we have our
mine is charged. It's in my window.
But she's getting there.
Yeah. When I am back 100%, then I will connect with everybody. And
how cool is that though? Like we can all be connected. And then now we're like encouraging each other to do workouts and we're sharing tips and tricks. Like I love that support group because it's been helping me stay on point as well.
Yeah. And it's not just, you know, where's your water, where's your protein.
No,
like
it's not.
We talk about everything.
Yeah. We talk about relationships, stuff that's going on with our insurance, stuff that's going on in our lives. Like we're literally supporting each other. And there's like over 30 people in that support group.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's a lot of fun. And if you guys want to be a part of it, it's on patreon.com/OSLP. It's a $7 tier.
Or higher.
Anybody of $7 or higher gets to be in the support group.
And then just message us. Let us know that you want to be a part of it. And friend us on Facebook. And
some reason it's hard to find you. They're having
so friend Mel. And then,
Kelly has to like figure out her privacy settings.
I have looked at them and they're fine.
Everybody's like, I can't find Kelly.
I don't know.
I don't know. But if you just find me, it's Mel Godfrey. I'll add you and then I'll add you to the chat. You do have to be a paid supporter though, just because like this is a very exclusive group where we're talking about a lot of personal things, and it's very important that we keep it private, and we want to make sure that everybody that's in the group wants to be in the group.
Exactly.
So
yes,
yeah.
All right.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we talked about all things support.
Yeah, support.
Except for bras, you know, whole different support.
I need some. I need new bras, guys. I'm gonna be going. I think this weekend. Yeah, this weekend. I'm taking Dylan clothes shopping for school, so I was like, I think I'm gonna grab myself some bras.
I thought we were supposed to go, but that's fine.
He doesn't know. Well, you're gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'm going to the store.
I haven't seen you in a month, and then you're gonna be gone this weekend, so I don't have to fucking tell you, girl.
Well,
I can't just wait.
I can't.
My boobs need support. They need to be up here, not down here.
Not down there. Yeah. That's why I like this bra because it's very supportive.
Oh my god. Oh, I got to give you your bra back, by the way.
Oh yeah. We share bras apparently.
That's actually what triggered me to be like, you need some motherfucking bras.
Yeah, when you're stealing Kelly's bras, then it's time.
I like the push up on it. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. It was great.
Good to know.
So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.